From tech moguls joking around with AI to street comedians recounting wild stories of sandwiches and survival, and even the world's meanest man talking about DMT, death, and tigers, these are the top guests ever to grace Joe Rogan. Whether it was Elon Musk, Joey Diaz, or Mike Tyson, they all gave us moments so legendary that fans are still watching them replayed today. Some of them left us doubled over laughing. Others left us questioning what reality was. All of them, however, reminded us why the Joe Rogan Experience is now the biggest podcast in the world. So, let's break down the best, funniest, and most iconic moments of Joe Rogan's favorite guests. When Elon Musk sat down with Joe Rogan, the conversation didn't kick off with rockets or electric cars. It started with a flirty AI. But instead of answers, the AI just wanted to get dirty. Joe couldn't believe what he was hearing. So, Elon tried unhinged mode. That's when things went off the rails. Joe called it a boring TikTok blogger. The AI snapped back instantly. And then, Joe dropped the question everyone was thinking. Elon didn't even hesitate. Just like that, Elon Musk casually predicted that within a few years, we'll have fully interactive sex robots. And believe it or not, this wasn't even the wildest thing he said that day. The laughter didn't last long. The conversation flipped almost instantly. Joe brought up Avatar depression, the strange phenomenon where people felt depressed after watching Avatar because they wanted to live on Pandora with the blue aliens. That's when the AI therapist voice chimed in. Joe brushed it off, but Elon, he just nodded and then dropped a truth bomb. The studio went quiet. A joke about aliens had just turned into a warning about the end of humanity. And that's why fans love Musk. Only he can bounce from blue aliens with tails to why we need to colonize Mars. And if you think that was heavy, wait until you hear Elon expose what he calls the biggest scam in the world. Just when you thought it couldn't get crazier, Elon went even deeper. This time into the ugliest secrets of government spending. He started exposing it all. Wasted billions, blank checks, even dead people still marked alive in the system. Joe's jaw dropped. And Elon, he wasn't done. And when critics called him a threat to democracy, Musk didn't flinch. Fans clipped it instantly. In that moment, Elon wasn't just the billionaire who builds rockets and memes Doge. He was taking direct aim at corruption itself. And believe it or not, Elon still wasn't finished. What he revealed next had Joe shaking his head in disbelief. Elon once faced a Nazi salute accusation. Not rockets, not AI. Joe brought it up. But behind the joke, Elon went straight at the media. Joe jumped in. Elon replied. Elon wasn't just defending himself, he was pulling the curtain back, showing how media attacks get scripted. Joe Rogan has had hundreds of guests, but nobody keeps fans watching like Joey Diaz. Here's why. When Joey Diaz walks into Rogan's studio, it doesn't feel like a podcast. Suddenly, they're talking Austin's booming comedy scene. Holtzman, Duncan, Shane Gillis. Not just comedy, but community. Then, the food stories started rolling. Joey painted it perfectly. 2-day Mountain Dew highs and sandwiches big enough to drop a heavyweight. Joe nearly fell out of his chair, because with Joey, food's never just food. It's characters, memory, survival. Joey stories don't just tell you what happened, they make you feel like you were there in the room. If Joey's sandwich stories blew your mind, just wait. His tales of loyalty in the comedy world are even crazier. Diaz's speeches don't always come from punchlines, they come from loyalty. He told stories of comics like Scott Kennedy and Jeff Scott, openly gay, but always accepted as brothers in the comedy world. Then came Martin, a Broadway designer from his mom's bar, who once pulled a gun on bookies as young Joey watched. Next day, Martin apologized. Joey hugged him. That's Joey Diaz, raw, insane, but full of heart. And if that was insane, wait till you hear Joey's rant on America's lost industries. Joey isn't just a comedian, he's Rogan's philosopher uncle. He broke down how America's industry gutted cities like Detroit, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Buffalo. Joe nodded, fans clipped it. Joey's rants weren't politics, they were survival. Then came his praise for Ross Perot. He told the legendary story of Perot personally rescuing kidnapped employees in Iran. And if Joey's rants on America were intense, wait until he turns a comedy chat into a wild history lesson on Judas Priest, leather, and gay metal legends. Only Joey Diaz could turn a comedy podcast into a history lesson on Judas Priest and frontman Rob Halford. Joe bursts out laughing, but Joey kept going. Halford was so powerful, he had straight metalheads dressing like a gay biker gang without even knowing it. Then, Joey read lyrics from Halford's over-the-top song, Burning Up. Joey laughed, but his point was clear. Real fans never cared about sexuality. But if you think that was wild, wait until Joey's childhood gun story, the one fans still can't believe. Joey Diaz's moments are his childhood stories, insane but real, like Martin, a gay Broadway designer from his mom's bar who sold coke on the side until two bookies insulted him. Martin didn't just wave it around. The studio went silent. Young Joey stared at the gun inches from his face. That's Joey Diaz. Chaos, comedy, and heart. If Joey's stories were insane, wait till Mike Tyson. Chaos and wisdom on another level. When Mike Tyson returned to Rogan's podcast, he didn't start with boxing. He started with psychedelics. Mike talked about the 5-MeO-DMT toad, a psychedelic that changes lives in minutes. For him, it resurrected his body after once admitting he couldn't even work out without his ego flaring up. Soon, Tyson was training again. First plan, a fight with Bob Sapp. But it wasn't just a fight. Tyson said the toad humbled him, stripped away his ego. And that was just the start. Tyson dropped wisdom straight from a samurai manual. From DMT, the talk shifted to philosophy. Joe mentioned Muashi's Book of Five Rings, and Mike nodded. Joe leaned in as Tyson explained. Perfection made him unstoppable in the ring, but destructive in life. Joe compared it to football players who do football outside of football. And then he dropped another gem. This wasn't just the baddest man alive, it was Tyson reborn, crediting a psychedelic for giving him back life. If Tyson sounding like a samurai surprised you, wait until he starts talking about chaos, street fights, and the wildest stories that added to his myth. But this was still Tyson. Soon, the talk turned to animals, violence, and chaos, raising tigers, swimming with them, even hauling them in 18-wheelers. Joe couldn't stop laughing, fans clipped it instantly. Then came chimps 6-foot 300-pound beasts Tyson called ancient warriors, and when Joe showed tiger attack videos from India, Tyson just laughed. It was disturbing, honest peak Tyson. Then he suddenly reframed death itself. That's Tyson on Rogan. Chaos 1 second, raw wisdom the next. Terrifying, yet human, unfiltered, and real. By the end, the internet was flooded with clips, proving once again why he's one of Rogan's most loved guests. Elon Musk, Joey Diaz, Mike Tyson. 3 guests who couldn't be more different. But all of them gave us moments that will live forever on the Joe Rogan Experience. Elon Musk showed us the mind of a genius who can go from sex robots to saving civilization in the same breath. Joey Diaz reminded us that comedy is family, with stories so raw and real they'll have you laughing and crying at the same time. And Mike Tyson proved why he's still the baddest man on the planet, because even when he talks about death, chaos, or tigers, the whole world listens. But what do you think? Is that the magic of Rogan's most loved guests, that they're unpredictable, unforgettable, and able to make you laugh, think, or just sit in stunned silence? Or is there something else that makes this the biggest podcast in the world? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss the next most legendary moments.